I feel it's just a blip. In India, it has not been the same story. The Indian market has been growing. If you see, compared to last year, the Indian growth in passenger vehicle was almost 45-50%. So I don't see that Indian market getting impacted by the global trends on EV.
Okay, so this is just a blip, you're saying. Got that. Vinkesh, what about you? What are your thoughts? Because, Tesla is also coming off a very high base, right? I mean, it's in consistent growth over the last many years. And this is the first time in 4 years it's seen a bit of a knockdown. Do you concur with Ajay's view that this could be just a, 1 or 2 month phenomenon and the structural growth story is still intact globally?
So I feel, yes, it's a blip, but the kind of growth or the kind of positiveness we have been seeing in EV for so long abroad, I feel the story is not similar going further. So after the blip, whenever we see in 2-3 months the EV going up globally, it won't be at the same rate how we have seen for the past 5 years. But like Ajay said, he's totally right. India is a different story. But when I talk of globally, it has been many years since EV is prevalent there. It has been stabilized there. People have experienced 3 years, 5 years down the line, knows the positives of running an EV for more than 5 years. So obviously, it's not in the same positive mode as it is in India today.
Okay, got that. So India is a very different story is what you're saying, right? So let's talk about the Indian market. And I wanted Ajay's view first on this. Ajay, if you look at the PV, the passenger vehicle electric market in India, the adoption is very low at just about 2% odd. It could be for several reasons. There are limited model choices. The price points are much higher. The EV adoption itself has struggled quite a bit because of, range anxiety issues, charging infrastructure issues. But where are we right now? And what do you think is the need of the hour for EV penetration to increase in India?
See, this year, in 24-25, I feel, there will be more than 15 new product launches by the different OEMs. All mass market players, top 5 players will launch their new models. Everybody will have a EV portfolio in their hand. So we see that this year, the EV growth will be much higher compared to previous years. Yes, I do agree there are challenges in terms of when it comes to a consumer in terms of EV adoption. Still, there's a lot of challenges in terms of charging infra. There is a problem in terms of setting up the home charging. The public infra is not so good. The power availability is not so good. Secondly, the product choices are limited. Customer has a range anxiety issue. The cost of ownership is a problem. So I think once these problems are addressed, the market will grow much faster and much stronger.
Vinkesh, come in on this. Ajay was pointing out the number of problems that have been a hindrance to EV penetration. But these are problems that have existed for the last many years. Why do you think, solutions have not been found whereby there's more penetration? I mean, we're talking about what? PV penetration is sub 2%. Even two-wheelers, which is picking up, quite a bit, the penetration is just about 5-6%. So what is lacking, you think?
See, as of now...
Sorry.
Vinkesh, go ahead.
Okay, so as I feel the options available in the market is majorly skewed towards non-EV. So if you see on the car fronts also, there's one only OEM, Tata, who has some products where they can say there are 3 or 4 products. If you leave apart Tata, all the other OEMs' presence in EV is just a showcase. One product and that too not doing great. Some 100 numbers, and if you see in a year it's some 1,000, not even big. Similar happening in two-wheeler. So you have some 30-40 odd models of two-wheelers available where the fuel engines are. But when you start counting on EV, there are 10 or 15 good models which are available. And obviously this availability across the districts in India is also limited and restricted. So the customers don't have choice and reach also on the dealers front where they can get such vehicle. What I think the OEMs are still not very focused on the electric vehicle front. There are some OEMs who are actually anti-EVs. There are some who are working towards that. But like Ajay said, we'll have to watch another year. I feel 2025 would be the year of big bang EV launches from all the OEMs. And when we have EV options available with all the OEMs in India, surely the ratio will go up, but not as high as what the government is expecting. So like latest I heard 2030, they expect 30% of passenger vehicle, some 50 or 80% or from two-wheelers and three-wheelers. This is some kind of numbers where unless and until government goes out of the box and supports in subsidies, which is, as of now, you see FAME 3 has gone down. I don't think those percentage happening. But yes, EV ratio will go ahead year on year or month on month also.
Okay. Ajay, jump in on that. I mean, Vinkesh made a very good point. Options are very limited and the OEMs are not very serious. Apart from the Tata Group, there's no other OEM that has a comprehensive EV model. But it could also be a chicken and egg situation because, there is still charging infrastructure issues, there is range anxiety. So maybe OEMs prefer to go slow. Your thoughts here?
See, if you see off late, last 3-4 months after the price revision by Tata and MG, the mass market models like Tiago EV and Comet have started growing. So it's not fair to say that consumers are not accepting the products if it makes sense in terms of cost of ownership, entry cost. So the acceptance is there. The challenges are there definitely in terms of as of now all OEMs are not so aggressive in terms of pushing the EV products. Once every OEM has a decent EV portfolio, I think market should naturally grow. I don't see a challenge there.
You want to comment specifically, Ajay, on the two-wheeler market because, it's been consolidating for a while with 6 to 7 large players, out of which 4 players enjoy 80% of the market share. Do you think that could be the dynamics even over the next couple of years? And now you have the PLI also that has been approved. So how do you see the market dynamics change in the two-wheeler EV space?
See, again, in two-wheeler, the same problem. The OEMs who are already the leaders are not very serious. If you see the top players, Hero, Bajaj, Honda, they're not very seriously, having a EV portfolio. The EV is, as of now, being, the startups are leading the EV ecosystem. The automobile is not a business wherein, you can build the channel, you can build the infrastructure overnight. It takes time to build that. Unless the existing OEMs try and build that, use the existing infrastructure to push the EV, it will take time.
But can it also be the case that, as you mentioned, right, startups are leading the EV ecosystem. Vinkesh, I want you to come in on that. Will it be very tough for the startups to sort of scale up this business in a big way? And is it mandatory for the incumbent players, the legacy players to sort of scale up their business for the penetration to take off in a big way in two-wheelers?
You're right on your point. See, the companies like TVS who have really gone out of the way to launch EVs through their regular regular dealers have really seen some tandem going on. They are doing now 12,000 plus or 15,000 every month, which is the only company legacy player who is doing something in EV. Like you talk of Bajaj, they have only one product, which is Chetak, and also their presence is not there all over India. Talk of Hero. They have come through one product and still their presence is less. Honda motorcycle has yet not launched an electric vehicle in India. So if you see the legacy players, I feel they are still waiting for I don't know what. But unless and until these 4 legacy players go out of the way, have an EV portfolio through their regular dealers and don't think of having a special EV dealers separate, then the reach becomes a problem. So until and unless that happens, I don't see EV market going big in two-wheeler. No doubt it's one of the best if you talk of compared to cars or CVs. But still, the melting point or the top point is still there. I'll give you a small example. I'm talking of one small district where one OEM sells 1,000 products per month, whereas its EV portfolio is selling 30 vehicles per month. And that's how where major districts of India is going through. If you talk of leave apart the TVS for Hero or Bajaj. And that is where the major problem is. Similar what has happening in passenger vehicle is happening in two-wheelers also. The OEMs are not focused towards EV and they're not coming up with options.
Okay. Ajay, one final word from your end. Is Chinese competition a big threat in India? Because globally, Chinese competition has sort of, become a big threat. But what about the Indian markets?
I don't see that. See, last few years, we have been hearing a lot of stories of Chinese PV makers coming in, Great Wall Motors and other players. But it's very difficult. Automobile is not a fly-by-night operations you build up quickly and then establish. So I don't see much challenge there. And definitely the rules and regulations and the laws doesn't give them a free way to run the business in India.